Hey guys, it's the Krash Man here once again with Krashing down Survivor South Pacific, Episode 8, a Double Agent going down yesterday. One of the best episodes in the last few seasons. I think better than every single episode of the last two seasons prior to this one. Finally, we have ourselves a real Survivor match. I think the last time I really enjoyed a season was the Heroes vs. Villains, so it is very enlightening to me to see this. Going into the episode, we had a big redemption duel coming up. If you remember last week, Ozzy threw himself out to try and save his Savai tribe going into the merge, assuming there would be a merge. So they all voted him out. He's going to go to redemption, and he assumes he's going to beat Christine. They get to the duel. Both tribes, entire tribes, are sitting and watching, so that obviously means a merge is happening, and it obviously means the winner of the duel is going back into the game as expected. It's a challenge where you got to build a long pole of sticks, tie them together, and you have to retrieve 3 keys. We've seen this challenge done before. I like it. I like it being the last challenge before you get back in the game. It has I guess, an honorable feel. You know, you open a door to get back in the game because you have to retrieve the keys to unlock the door. I don't know. I think it's cool. I don't think I would even be very good at that one. I'm more of a balance or puzzle or athletic and throwing type person, but having to be real calm with the sticks, I think I'd break them right in half. Either way, Ozzy was behind early on this one. It looked like his stick was not going to work. However, Christine could not get anything to go. She had her first set of keys, couldn't get them up. Big delay. Ozzy finally figured it out, won the challenge fairly easily. Christine won every single duel up until the last one right there where Ozzy gets himself back into the game, making himself look like a genius. I still think the guy's a dummy. He's very behind the curve, and he made another pretty dumb move later in this episode. Ozzy, this might be your 3rd time in the game, but you just did not learn anything. If you win this game, it will be a travesty. Horrible play so far by Ozzy. So the tribes merged. They're still separated, basically, though. Upalo was 6. Savai was 6. Someone's going to have to bend. You're not going to go into a vote and vote 6 and 6. I'll get onto that in a second when it comes to the rocks. During the duel, Ozzy did some sort of speech trying to say Cochran voted him out, trying to blame all the Upalo members, and basically looked like a fool out there being Ozzy. Basically, that's what he is a fool. And no one believed his speech. No one bought it for a second. They caught on to that ploy for a second that he had himself voted out. He went to redemption to get back in the game and even up the numbers. He shouldn't have even bothered with that unless he could make it somewhat accurate. He goes there just spilling, I'm going to get revenge. I'm going to do this. You guys are horrible. Blah, blah, blah. It didn't even sound like Ozzy at all. It was terrible. Should have sent someone else to redemption if that's the best job that guy could have done. So when they get back, 6-6, they sent Cochran over to be a double agent. Now, if Ozzy was really unhappy with his tribe for voting him out, you would think he would be the one to go to the other tribe to be the double agent to try and get information from them because supposedly he's on the outs. No, he gets right back to camp and goes back with his old friends. No, that's not suspicious, Ozzy. It isn't at all. So Cochran goes over there. He talks to some of their team, trying to gather information, saying that he's on the outs, whatnot. Coach pulls him aside, and this was absolutely brilliant, one of the greatest moments of the game. Coach starts talking to him man-to-man, acting like it's, just a normal game conversation. What's your strategy? And Coach calls him out on everything. He says, we know you're lying, we know you're BSing us, and I know you have an idol in your pocket right now. It's a BS way to play the game, blah, 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 blah. Coach put fear into him, and I love it. Coach, where did this come from? An absolute perfect social game so far by Mr. Benjamin, Coach Wade here. He has done everything you could have asked from him so far. Some of the things he did, some of the people he voted out I may have not agreed with, but otherwise he is at the top of his game right now. There's going to be people gunning for him soon, but right now I feel like he is in a good position. He's got to be a little careful, but definitely running the show. He got to Cochran, he put some fear in him, and he let him know they're going to vote 6, Savai's going to vote 6, he doesn't have to be at the bottom of Savai. He can come and play with Upalu, and he can probably last a little bit. I don't think he would be on the chopping block with them because there are other threats in this game to get rid of. There's Ozzy, there's Jim, there's Keith, some Savai bigwigs, and then you go to Upalu. Eventually, they're going to have to get rid of Coach. You're going to have to get rid of Albert. You're going to have to get rid of strong male players. Cochran is a good strategical player, but he isn't the person people go gunning for. He would be very wise to take this move because of Savai. They've treated him like crap since day one. He's not going to get far with that group if they gets anywhere at all. They're eventually going to flip him. Nobody likes him there. You do not want to be at the bottom of your pack, even if they're the ones you've been with the whole game. You may be towards the bottom of the other one, but you got to try something. You can't just go down. And plus, if it votes 6-6, it's going to rocks. I would never in a million years stick with my best friend and go to rocks. Rocks, if you tie in the votes and then they do the revote, you tie again. You all get a bunch of rocks out of a pile. The one who draws the black one, I believe, is voted out of the game, all by chance. For $1 million, I know there's the redemption twist and you can get back in the game. For $1 million, I am not losing to rocks. I don't care who I have to vote out. It is a game for $1 million. We're not here to be friends. You're not going to win as a team. And all this tribe loyalty stuff right here is a merged tribe. One player wins the game, not two. One player wins the game. You're going to have to vote out all of your tribe eventually, so you better get used to making big moves in the game. Going to the immunity challenge, the winners were Ozzy, as you can expect at this point in the game. He is very athletic still. And at Dawn won, it was a male and female winning type thing. They had to stand, bounce the ball, one of your typical challenges. It really didn't have much of an impact on the way the vote was going to go anyway. So we get back. Cochran's still debating whether he wants to join the Upalu 6 and make a 7th vote to knock off one of the Savais. Dawn tries to talk him out of it. First she was on Cochran's side, then she's against Cochran's side. Girl is an emotional wreck out there. I think that helps her in a way because people don't think she can think for herself. You have these emotional girls. When they become annoying, they get voted out. But if you can stay kind of where Dawn is, you would think this lady's just clueless. What's the point of her? She's not a threat. Let's just leave her there. And before you know it, bada bing, bada bang, she's in the top 5, screwing your game over. Someone to watch right there. Anyway, Cochran debates it. He's going back and forth, but I really think in his heart he wants to get rid of his old members. And who wouldn't? The way they treated him. Even if it's not a game strategy, it would be hard for me not to stick it right up Savai right there after the way he's been treated as kind of the pester boy or the dwindle, the bottom of the barrel. I'm trying to think of a good word here. The bottom of the barrel of the Savai tribe. Kind of a smart guy but doesn't fit in with, the good-looking blonde in Whitney, or the jock dummy waste of space player Keith, or Ozzy, the super survivor guy. He didn't really ever fit in with them, and I couldn't wait for him to stick it to them. So we get to the vote. They're going to split it 6-6, but before that, Ozzy, like an idiot, steps up. He has his immunity idol that was returned from Cochran, and he plays the idol for Whitney, which made absolutely no sense in my eyes. Again, one player wins Survivor. You're trying to protect your tribe with an idol like that. Only one player wins Survivor. Hold on to your idol. If you go down in numbers, it's a good possibility you were anyway. You still have an idol to protect yourself. People aren't going to vote with their own tribes for long. It all gets convoluted eventually. One player wins Survivor, Ozzy. And he gives it to Whitney. No one even votes for her anyway. 6 votes go to Keith. 6 votes go to Rick. And we have a tie. Revote goes in. And as expected, Cochran flips his vote, sends Keith on his way. I'm pumping my fist. Best move of Survivor so far. Cochran did it. but Coach was the one who orchestrated it by putting fear into the kid. Coach gets Player of the Week this week. Cochran, he could have had it, but he had an immunity idol and he wanted to be nice. He gave it back to Ozzy because Ozzy found it. He wouldn't have done that. Cochran probably would have gotten Player of the Week. I would never give up an immunity idol. It's a cold, hard game. Again, I like what Cochran did, but he has too much emotions. He's sitting there after the vote was done saying that he made the flip. All the Savai's freaking out on him. Who gives? You made the flip. You want to win the game? They can get over it. It is a game for $1 million. And again, theme of the show, one person wins the money, not an entire tribe. They got to get over this tribal loyalty thing. And it's good to kind of build it up in your head. It's good to try and build it up around people, but you cannot truly believe that. And that's just how it goes. That's the only flaw you might see in Coach. He's into this whole tribe unity thing. It's a one-player game. You have to have someone above you, someone below you, and you need to be in the middle. There's always a 2 to 3 person alliance with a bunch of affiliates surrounded. Otherwise, I will always stick to that as my ideals of the game. So that's going to send Keith to Redemption Island. He may be a hard player to beat over there, but he is where he belongs. Basically, to me, he was just a big bully to Cochran the whole game. He thought his athleticism, him and Ozzy were just going to ride in the sunset with no strategical play. Only in Survivor can a guy like Cochran dethrone a douchebag such as Keith. He belongs there. Probably one of my more hated players in Survivor history, if you couldn't tell. I hope he is eliminated by basically anyone who goes to join him on Redemption. But that wraps this one up. We got a great show coming up next week. I can't wait to see what happens. Obviously, Savai is going to be freaking out on Cochran. Will Paulo continue to let him in, keep him as an integral part of their alliance, or was he just there to buy some votes? I have a feeling Cochran's going to last a while. Again, he's not a strong guy. He doesn't present a huge threat to people. He was at the bottom of the barrel, but I think he can start to make his plays right now, maybe align with some more strategical players like Sophie or Albert, because those two really want to play the game. I think he's a good match for them, and I think over on the Savai side, they're basically sitting ducks. They might want to get over themselves and to try and join the cause, because I think you probably will turn on themselves eventually. They know they got to get rid of Coach, because right now he is on track to win this game. Till next time, Krash out.